I am digital meteorologist Irene Sans, and in this week's Weather Facts and Hacks, we will talk about the natural, what everybody has been talking about this week. Yes, presidential inaugurations. Why? Because they have been greatly affected by weather in the past, and of course, this year's will not be the exception. First, let's start talking about some cool facts. Did you know that prior to 1937, they were done in March, except George Washington's, which was done in the month of April? Between us, that picture that you see right there is President FDR when he was doing a fireside chat about the devastating drought and heat of 1936. Well, let's go back to the topic though. January inaugurations. On average, temperature is 33.4 degrees Fahrenheit. Since 1937, we've had 20 inaugurations in January, including this year's. The wettest has been FDR's, the very first one done in January in 1937, with a record rainfall of close to 2 inches. The one with the most snow, not necessarily because it was snowing at that time, but snow on the ground, because the previous night 8 inches of them fell, was John F. Kennedy's in 1961, and the coldest and the warmest, well, it goes to the same president, 2 different terms. The first term, Ronald Reagan, started with a tropical 55 degrees Fahrenheit in 1981, and then 4 years later, his second term started with very, very cold temperatures, only 7 degrees Fahrenheit, so 2 extremes. On average, at 12 p.m., when Republicans go into power, the temperature tends to be slightly less cold. Let's just put it that way for us here in Florida, 39 degrees. Now, when Democrats go into power, on average, at 12 p.m., the temperature tends to be closer to that freezing mark. This year's inauguration will have some clouds, some rain showers, even at noon. We're not talking about any records. Temperature-wise or rainfall-wise, we're not talking about any records. Yes, the temperatures will be slightly warmer than what we expect for this time of the year, but we're still having some rainfall around noon with some very light winds. At least we will not be talking about any wind chills at this time. Remember at the beginning of the video, we've talked about how before 1937, the inaugurations were done in the month of March. Well, if we take all the March inaugurations, statistically, they were colder than the last 20 January inaugurations. And that's your food for thought right there. Have a great weekend.